Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, from me, Bishop Bishop. Today's vermin, well, I'm not exactly sure what today's vermin is, and I'm sure that's not a surprise to you because I've been doing all of these off the cuff, pulling them out of my ass, all that kind of stuff. But I have a couple thoughts for you. One, today I didn't put on any makeup. Sometimes I like to glam up because I want to drink my coffee. And putting lipstick on and drinking coffee, well, doesn't taste too good. So I didn't glam up for y'all because I selfishly wanted to be able to take a sip of coffee during this vermin. And sometimes I think it's important to choose comfort over beauty. I'm thinking about this because I've been watching What Not to Wear sometimes when I have access to a TV, which is not that common, but it's been happening more often because I've been staying down with my sister when I go do something down in South Florida, and I stay with her in Tampa, and they got TV. And so I watch TV while I'm there, and it's a weird thing for me. But so I watch What Not to Wear, and I generally cry at some point during the program because, I'm a sucker for transformation stories, even when I'm annoyed by the whole setup, which I am by the whole What Not to Wear thing. But the thing that they don't talk about is how sometimes not focusing on what you look like on the outside is actually a good thing. Sometimes we need to forget about whether or not we're attractive or well put together. We just need to do. We need to feel free to move in our bodies, to not worry about the surface, but instead focus on what it means to be a human animal moving through space. I guess focusing on surface is a way to think about the human animal moving through space, but I guess I'm more interested in those moments when you don't care, when you're not worried about judgment. I'm thinking about judgment because I just got a rejection email this morning, and it was a form rejection email. And it was for something I really kind of wanted. I wanted the validation, and I didn't even make the short list, which is sort of frustrating. A couple years ago, I did make the short list for something in a similar style thing, and that made me feel good even though I didn't get what I wanted, because it made me feel validated. And so thinking about judgment, thinking about rejection, thinking about being judged on what you present, which is important. I'm not saying it isn't important to think about how you present yourself in the world. I mean, obviously I think about that a lot. But what I think is also nice is sometimes to let go, to do what you need to do, to move through this world and not worry so much about whether or not people are judging your looks or even your efforts, right? Because I'm going to tell y'all now, a lot of what gets judged is good. It may not be good. It fits into some sort of criteria. So some sort of, what's the right word? What is it I want to say? Well, what it does is it fits the needs of the judges. And I mean judges in a larger way than just like a competition. I mean, whoever is judging you. If they think that someone looks good or doesn't look good, if they think like the What Not to Wear folks, or if they are judging your artwork or your academic writing or your job performance or any of those things, right? And it's important to know that sometimes you're not going to do as good of a job, and you maybe need to think more about your presentation and all that kind of stuff. I'm not letting you off the hook or myself off the hook, though sometimes I would like to be off the hook. But more that whoever's judging you for whatever reason has reasons besides the stated criteria of how they're judging you. There's too many other things that get added in. Like in art, for example, it's not just about whether or not it's good, which is very subjective, but does it use the right slogans? That's not really lingo. Does it use the right lingo? Does it talk about something in a way that reaffirms folks' identity as part of a group? I was thinking about this also, this whole question of judgment and appearance and how we decide whether or not something is worthy. Because I recently, again, was watching some TV and I watched VH1's 100 Best Videos, and it was all judged by all these basically pop stars. And by pop stars, I mean everyone from hard rock and heavy metal folks to rappers and hip hop folks to more, sort of what we now think of as pop. Basic rock and roll, R&B, blues, no. It was what you hear on the radio that's not country, jazz, classical. And they were judging. They had voted and they were showing the stuff, and then they had little like blurbs from each of all these different people commenting on the folks who were chosen for their ranking. And it was kind of annoying. And they kept using words like it's the greatest and the most amazing and yada, 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 right? And the thing is that they were acting as if this music's going to last past 100 years, and most of it ain't. Most of it's not going to be listened to in 100 years. There'll be so much production between now and then, if we survive, that these things that we consider so amazing won't be heard anymore. Definitely not by 500 years from now. And that doesn't mean it's not good for its time, but there's this strange sense that a misunderstanding of what our cultural productions do and how long they last. And I realized that all those superlatives weren't really about this work lasting for a long time, but it was about the confirmation of these people, these judges, that what they did was important in the world. They're cultural producers, they produce pop music. And they're, by voting and saying how amazing and how this work will last forever and be known forever, they were confirming that what they do is important in the world. So, I guess the next time you think about someone else judging you for whatever reason, have a little compassion about why they're judging. And if you don't get what you want or you get a negative judgment, think hard about whether or not you deserve that negative judgment, but also realize that there's a lot more happening than your individual work, your surface appearance, your whatever, your job performance. That there's also this need to confirm the importance of something by judging it on the part of the judge. So that was kind of rambling, a little long, but it'd been a while. My last vermin had been very sad, and I still feel a bit sad, but that's just the way it goes. So until next time, take care and keep on keeping on.